This is the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Scoop Slam Podcast. The Lakers are hooping. We're here scooping. We're going to be talking about Raw. We're going to be talking about some rumors. It's our weekly edition. Before we get too far into anything, I want to apologize for missing the Dynamite and SmackDown review again. I think this is like the fourth week in a row that we've missed it. Had some technical issues, so hopefully those are resolved. The Scoop Slam Podcast is getting a facelift. We're using some new recording software. We got sound effects now. So we're new and improved. What do they used to say? New and vicious, like they used to say about the Viking Raiders. But as always, I'm joined by my co-host. My name is Micah, but I'm joined by my co-host. He was backstage at Raw this week, caught talking to CM Punk. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah, finally. Whole week's done passed. We haven't talked about any wrestling. Ready to get into some of these news and rumors, and always great to be here with you, buddy.
You know, I think we're going to like this new software. Everything seems to be running smoother, so that makes our process easier, and I think that'll make the shows a little better, too.
Yeah.
You know, instead of cutting every 35 seconds or, you know, muting your audio randomly or bull crap like that. But, you know, we're going to work with it.
We're back, though. We're better than ever. We're Scoop Slam 2.0.
Oh, okay. NXT 2.0 wasn't so good. We've got Triple H. Triple H took over.
Yeah.
Anyways, speaking of the WWE, let's go ahead and get into one of the biggest rumors coming out of this week, and it was on Monday, right before Raw. I alluded to it earlier. AEW CM Punk was backstage at WWE Raw on Monday afternoon and was eventually asked to leave by security. PW Insider, who initially reported Punk's backstage visit, said that he did briefly see Paul Levesque and met with several other WWE talents before being asked to leave. They additionally reported that their source said it was a Vince McMahon decision to have Punk leave the venue due to Punk being under contract to AEW. So, and it's not in this article. That article was from F4WOnline.com. So go check them out. But some other stuff came out that he was commentating for Cage Fighting, which he does and has been doing for the past couple months. Was on a flight from Tampa to Chicago. Saw some of the WWE guys. They invited him to come to Raw. He came out there, apparently buried the hatchet with The Miz, asked Triple H to talk for a minute. He said he would have to ask Vince. Vince said no. Punk went on his way. So they said it was like around maybe 20 or 30 minutes that he was there. So let me go ahead and get your thoughts on this one, Ryan. CM Punk's first appearance in a WWE arena since 2014.
Yeah. Very random. Because, yeah, man, he did that backstage show briefly. 2019, wasn't it? 2020?
Yeah, 2019, because it was right before COVID.
Pandemic. Yeah. He did that briefly, which I thought was going to open the door for his WWE return. But yeah, man, I don't know about this. Does he have any close friends in the WWE at this point?
Kofi, maybe?
He's not there. He's hurt.
Oh, you know, you're right.
Yeah. Did he really just go there to bury the hatchet with Miz?
Apparently so. There's somebody I'm not thinking of, but I know he's friends with, because I thought about it the other day that I was like, he may be going to visit them.
Well, we know it's not Seth Rollins. We know it's not Corey Graves. Those guys do not like him and have expressed that opinion multiple times.
Wait, Corey and him have beef?
Yeah, they do.
What happened? I don't know that one.
I think it's just they don't travel in the same circles anymore. And you know how CM Punk is, man. Once he perceives that you turned your back on him, you're dead to him. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. They didn't have a problem when Andrade and Malachi and Buddy, all those jabronis showed up at the Hall of Fame. Why do they have a problem with CM Punk showing up at Raw?
Well, I think the Andrade Malachi thing is a little different because it's the Hall of Fame, so like they're obviously there to.
They showed him on camera though.
Now that was a little weird. That's probably a mistake, but I think that's because it's more to observe the guest. But Punk was just kind of there. I compare it more to the Ricky situation, but I think the only reason Ricky was allowed to stay was because he hasn't burned any bridges there because he's never been there, whereas Punk has obviously burned some bridges there. So that's at least my thought process. But it is really weird.
Very, very.
And they said that they think it's just a publicity stunt to build hype for his return in a couple weeks, hopefully. I mean, he was in the headlines, so that's
He
a
was.
good point.
Maybe I missed it, but I thought that there was going to be some loud CM Punk chants at that arena on Monday, and we didn't really get that.
I didn't hear him at least, but I only watched the Hulu version, so I'm not too certain if they were and I missed it. And I didn't see anything on Twitter about it either.
Yeah, it's very very weird situation there because it seems like he's already penciled in for his AEW return. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, they booked the United Center for an upcoming show, so that should tell you that they got something big planned. I don't know, man. The timing is just it's a little weird here.
Let me ask you this, because I saw this as a proposed theory. Now, I don't know whether it's true or not. Do you think that he is trying to rehab his image and show that he can bury the hatchet with people and he is growing as a person? I saw some people throwing that around on Twitter that maybe he's trying to build some bridges that were broken and show that he can mend fences, and it'll help his image trying to get back into AEW. Maybe. Do you think that's plausible?
Uh, yeah, it could be. You think Tony Khan knew about this so-called rehabilitation project that he had on Monday night? You think he told him about this beforehand?
That one, I don't know. I would think so, especially considering some other news came out today that he had a meeting on Friday with Jericho and FTR, and he is still employed with him.
Sure. But if you're Punk, man, you got Tony Khan bent over a barrel for real. So I mean, what? There's nothing he can do to get fired from AEW. If he hasn't gotten fired already, he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I've seen some people on Twitter saying, "Oh, Tony, just get rid of this guy. He's nothing but trouble." What can he fire him for? Ricky was there doing the same thing pretty much. Oh, he was with Cody. Okay, so what difference does that make? So Tony couldn't punish him unless Tony goes, okay, from this day forward, no more going to WWE, which is probably what he should do. But, I mean, we all know Tony's not going to put his foot down over anything.
Especially not a Punk.
No, heck no. Well, that's his cash cow, and he knows it. That's the only reason that they're bringing him back. Like you said, he's got him bent over a barrel.
Bro, the new show that they have, I'm pretty sure if you read the dirt sheets, the whole caveat of TBS TNT wanting a new show is for Punk. So if there's no Punk on that new show, how long does that new show last?
I don't know. Look at the Rampage ratings after Punk left.
Well, he was on a couple rampages after that.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is like, even when he was there wrestling, they were doing 6, 7,
Yeah.
somewhere around that realm, and then immediately when he like went to Dynamite, the ratings started dropping. Ever since he's been gone, they've gotten over 1 million a handful of times, and I love it because when he first left, they were doing over 1 million. Everybody was like, "See, we don't need CM Punk," and Dave Meltzer was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so bad, he needs to be gone," and then Warner Brothers Discovery was like, "Hey, we'll give you $52 million," and then they were like, "Oh, okay, this Phil Brooks guy might not be so bad, eh?"
Yeah, he starts making amends with everyone, and Jericho is implying that he can work with CM Punk now with the new rumors coming out today that they had a meeting together. So I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting summer for one Phil Brooks. But Micah, but before we move on though, do you think he has another meltdown by the end of the year?
I hope not.
What's your gut telling you?
I'm gonna say no. I think he got it out, and I think that hopefully things will be better this go around. I don't know if he's gonna be in the title picture, but
Well, what happens when the Whisper campaign starts again? How's he gonna react then?
don't put him at any press scrums. That's all I've got to say.
He's gonna be there. With Mindy's cupcakes in hand, he's gonna be there.
Well, I don't know. My gut. I'm not gonna say no, like it won't happen, but I hope not, because AEW is better with Punk, and the wrestling world is better with Punk. This is the only guy I've ever seen in my life who's wrestled a collective 8 months in the past almost 10 years now, and is still this much in the news.
Well, he's a controversial figure.
And he's one of the greatest wrestlers of the last decade, so
Of the
I
last
don't know, man.
decade. I
Last
don't know about.
decade? What do you mean? Of the 2010s?
You said last decade, so I pictured 2023 to 2013. He wasn't around the last decade.
Oh, no. I mean, like the 2010s.
He was only there like 3 years.
4. And but he had one of the most legendary title runs, 434 days.
Well, it's no Roman Reigns title run, but yeah, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's call back Pedro Morales. He had
Dig
one
him
of the
up.
best title runs. Dig him up.
I don't think he's dead, but dig him up anyway.
Great feuds.
Oh yeah, you had those great feuds with Ryback and Dolph Ziggler. Yeah. Oh, great.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you disparage the name of Dolph Ziggler like you love to do. That was a good feud. He had good feuds with Undertaker. One of my favorite Taker match. Honestly, the best Taker WrestleMania match before Taker like had his down period. And
You mean the rest of his career after that?
well, he had some good matches.
Yeah, a couple. Never at WrestleMania again, though.
No. I mean, they had to call The Rock in to beat CM Punk. He'd beaten everybody else. Had probably John Cena's greatest match ever on Raw.
Look at the roster back then when you got guys like Jack Swagger there and Roberto Del Rio. I mean, yeah, you got to call The Rock, man. There was no real stars back then.
But he beat all the non-real stars.
Oh, yeah, Ryback. That's going to live in infamy. Him and Brad Maddox screws Ryback.
Oh, well, I heard Brad Maddox like to screw a couple things.
Come on.
Anyways, speaking of screwing people, we'll move on to our next topic on the rumor mill. Ted DiBiase Jr. is living up to the gimmick, brother. Ex-WWE wrestler allegedly stole millions from needy families and bought a boat. I love that they had to throw that part in.
Well, I mean, Would you buy a boat if you were gonna steal millions in welfare funds, Micah?
Well, I mean, it might be fun to take out on the water. Look at the poor people from the ocean.
Of course.
Ted DiBiase, better known as Ted DiBiase Jr., during his 6-year stint in WWE, has been charged with misappropriating millions of federal dollars, meant to support families in need in Mississippi. Oh boy, hiatus, like I said that one time. Between 2016 and 2019, Mississippi's Department of Human Services allocated only $77. $77 million in federal money from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program and the Emergency Food Assistance program to two nonprofits based in the state. Instead, the funds were handed to individuals who allegedly used the money for their own gain. At least 5 contracts were given to DiBiase's companies Priceless Ventures LLC and Family Orientium LLC for social services that DiBiase did not provide and did not intend to provide, according to the U.S. Justice Department. He used these federal funds to buy a vehicle and a boat and for the down payment on the purchase of a house, among other expenditures. Now, when you sent this to me, this was not like a news article. I'm reading this off Vice, but no. This was from the official U.S. Department of Justice website.
Yeah.
So, this Joker has really living up to the gimmick. This is more despicable than anything his dad did.
Oh, yeah, easily. I thought his dad was involved in this, too. Him and Brett Favre. I thought they were all involved.
I think he's got something else going on, but I also think he's got some weird money laundering thing going on. But I think it's not this one.
What's going on in Mississippi, man? All these officials are just taking money from the poor.
Nothing, and that's why they just take money down there. Poor Mississippi.
And the poorest state in the entire country. They're just stealing from the poorest of the poor.
Let's see. Oh God. In April 2022, the Mississippi Office of State Auditor reported that DiBiase Sr. personally received a $250,000 check from the Family Resource Center, a Mississippi welfare grantee, to provide services as a motivational speaker. DiBiase forwarded an email from the welfare grantee to his sons, Ted DiBiase Jr. and Brett DiBiase, stating, and I quote, "Look what I got today."
Wait a minute. The brother's involved too?
Yeah, I think Brett is already in jail.
You remember he interfered in that SummerSlam match?
I do not. I can't even tell you what he looked like.
He looked just like DiBiase.
Oh, well.
You don't remember it was like Randy versus John Cena at SummerSlam? I think it was 2009. And a fan supposedly jumped the barrier and attacked Cena or something while he had Randy in the STF. And they made it seem like it was a fan, but it was really Ted DiBiase's brother. You don't remember that, Michael?
No, not at all. That was like, I was like into it, but not fully into it by that point. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, that SummerSlam had Jeff and CM Punk in that ladder match. You saw that, right?
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I was fully into it then.
You just didn't watch Raw. Can't blame you.
Well, yeah, that was the guest host era, wasn't it? Ugh.
Yeah, dark period. But anyways, man, I didn't know the brother was involved too.
Yeah, I just read something about Brett. Apparently, this whole family's involved in it. Jeez. He is already, I think, in jail, and he just pled guilty to a federal charge of conspiracy and faces up to 5 years in prison. So, basically, DiBiase Sr. and Brett were in the thing with Brett Favre and just DiBiase Jr. was in his own thing. So, boy, what a whole family of swindlers.
I know, man. As a former Marine, too, you expect better from Ted.
Yeah. I always felt bad for him. I thought he should have had a better wrestling career.
It's crazy, man. He was kind of positioned for when Legacy was doing their thing in '09. I always thought he was going to be the breakout guy, and Cody was just going to be a IC champion and mid card. Not technically a Jannetty because I feel like he could have achieved more than a Jannetty, but yeah, man, Ted was the guy. They gave him the $1 million championship when Legacy split up. They put him with Maurice. He got that theme song. That theme song was gas, man.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Cody had a good theme song too, though.
He did, but I don't know, man. And then he kind of stepped away way before you would anticipate. He was in his prime and he just kind of quietly disappeared.
Did he get fired or did he just quit?
I think his love just wasn't there anymore. I think he quit.
I agree, though. I always thought he was going to be the guy. He just had the, blue chipper look, yeah.
Yeah, the look. He wasn't bad on promos.
I couldn't tell you a promo, to be honest with you.
Well, I could name one, but I remember not being, blown away by him, but not being discouraged hearing him talk. I mean, he had a bright career, man. And they put him in the Marines, so it shows you that they had some kind of faith in him.
Yeah.
Don't just let any jabroni go do the Marine.
Yeah, like Miz.
Whoa. Look now.
No, I'm just playing. We like the Miz.
Let's say now.
Out there. Yeah, August 26th, he apparently was dealing with some bad depression and anxiety, and he did not renew his contract. And then he made very few wrestling appearances on the independent scene.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, shoot, he's just now 40, so that was 10, 12 years ago. So he was 28, 30, yeah, right in his prime.
Yeah.
Also, let me just say this: $1 million championship. I don't know if you're a big belt guy, but man, that's like one of the best gimmick belts of all time. Look wise.
Okay, yeah, look wise. It only works for certain people. I'll say that. Didn't they give him Virgil? You remember that? They gave him Virgil for a few weeks.
Really? No, I don't remember Virgil.
They brought back Virgil and gave him to Ted DiBiase.
No, I only remember Maurice, which I thought fit well.
It was okay. It was okay. They probably just didn't give it enough time to develop before they killed it, or maybe he got hurt. Man, I don't remember what happened.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm sure he'll be thrown in the cell with the key thrown away somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll throw the. Oh, go ahead.
No. You. It's on you.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe they'll throw the key to Japan. And speaking of, Mercedes Moné has re-signed with New Japan / Stardom, and or an extension on her contract, according to Dave Meltzer. The news comes hours before she is set to defend her IWGP Women's title against Mayu Iwatani, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which she did end up losing. Shockingly. Yeah, she lost the belt.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
And Meltzer is also reporting that it's believed her next match will be on an event in the US, and he did not indicate the length of the extension. So, I don't know, man. I thought it was a good thing that she signed. I mean, she's doing her own thing out there. And, I mean, she's still pretty big in the headlines, at least. And she has done numbers for New Japan. So, it's a... Well, if you look at the... if you look at the buys, especially for...
I ain't buying.
What's the... Well, I mean, hey, we don't hardly buy any of the pay-per-views. What's their big Wrestle Kingdom? The numbers were up from the past couple years, and I think the Battle in the Valley sold out, and the only announced match was her match, and its numbers from the year past were up. So I think she's doing some numbers for New Japan. But why did she lose the belt so early? I mean, I know I just kind of dumped that on you, but that don't make any sense to me.
Uh, maybe the lady she lost it to is a big deal over there in Stardom or what's where is she at? what company is she in? She in New Japan?
She lost it in Stardom. The belt is for Stardom and New Japan.
Gotcha. Yeah, man.
Because,
I don't know. Maybe they're building to a big rematch.
okay. I
I'm not gonna
will,
watch it. Yeah, I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not gonna
I
get
mean, I like Sasha, but
who you.
I do.
Okay.
She was a Mandalorian.
All right.
She
I
had a
didn't
good
catch.
match with Bianca.
She did. Yeah. I don't know, man. I always thought there was something missing with Sasha. She's good in the ring, man. It's just I never bought her on the microphone.
To me, she's just very skinny.
It's not even that. It's just she doesn't I don't know. Sometimes her promos can be a little too much. Maybe it's just her babyface stuff was turning me off from her promos. Cause man, she mentioned Eddie Guerrero a lot. She cried. Just wasn't
You
for me,
know,
man. It just wasn't for me.
I wasn't watching, so I really couldn't tell you a whole lot. I will say, speaking of Eddie Guerrero,
Huh?
her attire from this past match that she just did
No, of course.
was
No, of
uh,
course.
was an homage to was it not Tiger Mask, obviously. Was it Black Tiger or something like that he did in Japan?
How's Chavo feel about this?
Oh man.
You see that story?
Okay, look, we'll segue because that's basically
Okay.
all the Sasha stuff. People got bent out of shape about that. And if you read the article, it was in character. People took it like he was being dead serious.
It's funny though. You gotta
I
admit
mean, it's
that.
funny because people on Twitter were like, I can't believe Chavo would say that. Are you serious? He's just jealous that Ray is still going and he's not. And like the original article that I read it from clearly stated this was in character.
Like he was shooting for a match, man. He said he could outwork him.
I bet he could still go.
You know what? I wouldn't hate seeing that in 2023. Why not?
I wouldn't either. Ray can dang still go. We'll talk about that a little later because
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Every week I'm like, I'm waiting for him to show me a sign that he's slowed down, and then it just never happens.
Every week when you watch Raw, you say Ray is unbelievable at his age, and you always dog Riddle. Doesn't matter if he's on screen doing nothing. You always got something negative to say about Riddle too. Notice that about you, Micah. You have an
Well,
ulterior motive here.
I just can't get behind the guy. Not being disrespectful, but
No, that is disrespectful.
it's a slam if he's on my TV screen. That's all I got to
Oh,
say about the
God.
matter. Well, now that you
Yeah.
brought it up, we might as well go ahead and get into it. WWE's Monday Night Raw from April 24th, 2023.
Mm.
And we started off with Mr. Whoa, which isn't specific at all because there's like 8 million of them that do
Yeah, bro.
that.
Who is that? What? Seth Rollins came out first.
No, he'll be there later though.
Oh,
Cody
Cody.
Rhodes.
I
Yeah.
forgot it. I swear I forgot about
Oh man, that's like the big part of his entrance.
that. Well, man, it's like four guys that has that type of entrance.
Well, there's Seth and Cody and
Jungle.
Jungle. Who else were we
Somebody
missing?
else too. Somebody else too.
Jericho. They sing
Sammy?
his.
Sammy?
Sammy Guevara.
No, Sammy Zayn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot. Anyways, Cody came out to talk about basically the whole Brock thing and that, last time he was in the United Center, he defended
Whoa,
his
whoa, whoa, whoa,
honor.
whoa, 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 whoa. Not the United Center.
It wasn't the
Allstate
United.
Arena. Allstate.
How many arenas are in Chicago?
Well, they got the Now Center, the Allstate Arena, the United Center. United Center is where the Bulls play in the
Yeah.
that hockey team in Chicago. I forget. The Blackhawks.
Blackhawks.
Yeah, Blackhawks play. The United Center, not the United Center. The Allstate Arena is where they usually go for the WWE events. They hardly ever book the United Center for WWE. That's
They booked it
where
for Money in the Bank.
no, they went to Allstate.
For
That was
2011
where
Money in the Bank.
yeah, it was CM Punk versus Cena. That's where Steve Austin and Brett had their match. Who else? CM Punk and Jericho had a match at the Allstate Arena in 2012, I think. Yeah, man, they always go to Allstate. I can't. The last time they went to the United Center was at like SummerSlam in the 90s. Yeah, they haven't been there in a long time.
What the heck? Okay, well, never mind. So, okay. The Allstate Arena is in Rosemont. It's not in Chicago.
It's like 15-minute drive.
Oh, well, you've probably been there. So who plays in that?
I don't know.
Let's see. The Chicago Wolves, which is the American Hockey League, play there.
Never heard of them.
Me either. The Chicago Sky used to play there. That's a WNBA team. Never heard of them. Sorry, that was a low blow.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
No.
Are you sure that they didn't run the United Center for
Positive.
Money in the
100%
Bank?
positive. I am positive.
I'm going to fact check you. You're probably right, though. You're the analytics guy around here. That's why we keep you around.
I'm on the payroll for a reason. Man, I think they ran the United Center when it first opened up in the 90s. But, man, I listen to Bruce Pritchard a lot, and they always say that it's always a better deal to run the Allstate Arena than the United Center. And it's better acoustics.
How come? Just money?
I think so. Just like how they didn't run MSG, like live shows on TV for a while, because it just didn't make sense financially to run it.
Yeah.
But the acoustics are a lot better from what I hear in the Allstate Arena compared to the United Center.
Interesting. You really irk me sometimes because you're 100% right about your SummerSlam 1994 was the last time that WWE was there. And I just hate that about you.
It's weird, man. I can't tell you anything about what happened in WWE 2 months ago, but I can remember what happened on Monday Night Raw in January 4th, 1998. But I don't know, man. My memory's weird like that.
No, I know what you mean though, which this is kind of recent because I've watched some of it, but I was listening the other day to I don't even know, but they were talking about something about 1996, and they were talking about who was it Sean? Something that happened in 96, I think. I can't remember if it was like who Sid Vicious beat to win the championship, but then I was like, no, that didn't happen. I know that didn't happen, and they said it, and then like 5 minutes later they came back and said, no, that's not what happened, and I was like, okay, I can remember that, but don't ask me who Theory beat the United States Championship, or beat for the United States Championship.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Maybe Lashley or somebody. I don't know.
Was it Seth? I think it was Seth.
Seth held it?
Yeah, for a brief moment in time.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did last year.
Yep. He was still a heel.
Oh,
Anyways.
Allstate Arena, we were here.
Yeah, and they were in the United Center here. So Cody came out basically to talk about his injury and that he was, he went through the fire and he came back here to WWE to avenge whatever, and Brock Lesnar doesn't scare him. He's going to tear him limb from limb at Backlash. So
had to take his shirt off for this too.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah, it took him a while too.
Well, he comes out in these 8-piece suits. He couldn't have left the blazer at home and just wore the button-up shirt if he was going to do this or something.
You want to look like a bum, Micah? You want to come out with a hoodie on? What's going
No,
on?
a button-up shirt and some dress pants and some dress shoes, he would have been fine. That would have looked like, oh yeah, this is Cody.
That wouldn't have been him. That'd been like if Cena comes out with jeans. It just wouldn't have fit,
Nah, he could have dropped the blazer for one night.
You wouldn't have been. It would have taken. It wouldn't have jarred you to see Cena wearing jeans.
Yes, but Cody's not that tied to that blazer. Just the suit is.
Oh, he is. He is.
Regardless,
without it.
Speaking of things I don't want to picture, Finn Balor interrupted this one. And, I'd be lying if I told you what his argument was, but I think he just kind of tried to show Cody up.
No, he wanted him to join the Judgment Day.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. And Cody obviously said no and challenged him to a match later tonight. So
maybe he should have joined it.
You think so?
Hey, bro, he's gonna need some help for the bloodline.
Well, he might. I tell you what, he's gonna need some help getting these people back behind him. Because my first slam, I didn't have any scoops. Well, honestly, though, this wasn't horrible on Cody's beginning half of this promo.
It wasn't a bad promo.
No, my first slam, and it's kind of a trend here. I just don't feel the same about Cody that I did a couple weeks ago. And I feel like every week it's like, why do I keep faith in this guy?
A little harsh on him. I still think you are mad because he lost at WrestleMania. We gotta.
Oh, I am.
Bro, we gotta build a bridge and we gotta get over this. I mean, he's having a feud with Brock Lesnar, and that should be a good match. Just trust the process, Micah. Let it play out, as they say.
I know, but Ryan, they got me again. I was feeling the WWE product again. I was behind Cody, and I genuinely you were here. The first night of WrestleMania, that was a great time. I enjoyed that show thoroughly.
Yeah.
And then they just pissed in my mouth while I was down there on night 2. And I was like, well, I don't care anymore. My conquering hero has been vanquished. Why should I care?
It's tough, man, but I think I'm still interested in Cody, and I'm very interested in this match, Cody versus Brock. So I don't think I didn't have any scoops for this segment, but did the slideshow thing kind of bug you like it bugged me? Do you remember he started showing still images of what happened to him 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying 100% attention here. It didn't bother me that bad.
I don't know, man. Does he have somebody in the truck cue it up for him? It seemed a little contrived to me.
Well, I mean, he could just be like, can we pull up some images of what happened last week?
To remind everybody of when he got his beat down by Brock Lesnar. I don't know. Just a little weird to me. And why did they have still images? Why not just show the video?
That part was a little weird just because they never show still images of anything except if it's like an event, like this is what happened at SummerSlam last night. But like if it's just an event that took place on their show or a moment, then they usually show the video. I see your point, but I don't know. This is if I was going to call that out about being really contrived, then I'd probably have to call out most of this program for how exactly timed everything is.
Or how there was no main event announced until Cody and Finn had a confrontation in hour one. Did they not?
That wasn't even the main event.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. Regardless, though, I mean, there's a lot that's contrived in the show, but as far as the slideshow thing, that was the only slam I had for this.
The last thing I had, and again, I feel like I say the same thing every week, but it's also because we see the same like 8 people on Raw every single week. I'm praying that this draft does good things for them, and this is kind of the overarching thing for me for this show. They should have the draft the second week out of WrestleMania. The first week, I get it, it's the fallout from Mania, and a lot of crazy things can happen on the night after. But a lot of these feuds, well, not this past year, except for some mustache man returning. That was the only big moment we got. To me, the issue with WWE's product at the moment, as somebody who has to watch it, yes, it's the same feuds still going. Cody is still kind of doing his thing, which is different, but it's still similar, but that's not even the main issue. The Usos and KO and Sammy is still the same exact thing, and they're going to have a rematch this Friday, and I got a big feeling that Sammy and KO are not walking out of there with the belts. Ray and Dominic, that's still going on. Like, just so much of this is still carrying on into the next thing, and I'm ready for a refresh. So to me, WrestleMania is the be-all, end-all, the grandest stage of them all. You finish your business there. You got 1 week of Fallout. You draft the next week. Clean slate for everybody.
Well, Micah, it's never been like that. Usually Backlash is just WrestleMania rematches. It's been like that since the first Backlash in like 1999. They had a rematch of Rock versus Austin that happened the month before WrestleMania. I mean, it just... Are you surprised?
No, but I guess I just am wanting something fresh. I feel like obviously you build a while for these feuds, and it's different with Rock and Austin. That's like 2 of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I could watch them on most pay-per-views, but I don't know, in my mind, WrestleMania is the end of a feud. You can't get any bigger than that. You can't get any... I mean, I don't know. That's the Super Bowl. Why would you go... It'd be like if, I don't know, the Dolphins and the Chargers made it to the Super Bowl, and they were like, oh, okay, well, the Dolphins win this time. We're not going to give them the trophy or anything. We'll come back to the regular season, and that'll be our Super Bowl in like week 2. I just don't care for that.
Don't they do that every NFL season? They have a Super Bowl rematch week 1?
Not week 1. They do it sometime. Well, no, not every year. Well, because like sometimes it just comes up in the season. Like one year, I think the Chiefs and the Bucks played after they had played in the Super Bowl the year previous, but they don't intentionally schedule it like that. I know they typically do it in the NBA on like Christmas.
Okay, well, getting back to wrestling though, Mike.
Yeah, sorry.
They usually do that like every year at the WrestleMania. You remember at the WrestleMania 28, CM Punk and Chris Jericho had a rematch the month after. Or you name it, man. What was it? WrestleMania? I'm blanking here. But anyway, Micah, it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna be WrestleMania rematches, the pay-per-view after. Shoot, they
Well,
called it WrestleMania Backlash last year.
I know. I know. They're still calling it that. Not on paper, but like they still are kind of saying WrestleMania Backlash. And I know it's a thing, but that don't mean that I have to like it. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
burnt out right now, I guess. I'm sick of seeing the same. On WWE, we see the same 20 guys every single week. On AEW and on AEW, we beg to see the guys that we want to see. But no, instead we get to see Commander 4 weeks in a row.
Have him beat up Jay White on his debut match.
And we didn't get to talk about it last week, but justice for Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh man. Yeah.
What do they do with him now?
Bro, they pissed in his mouth. What do you mean? Wardlow stacked him up too. Like how disrespectful is that?
What? I don't know. I don't know, man. AEW has bungled two of the biggest guys they could possibly build up. You know, like biggest monster heels. It's just.
And all those internet fans that were saying Jay White, the best wrestler in the world, the greatest heel in the world, better than MJF. It really? He is? Am I missing something?
I don't.
Are
Well,
did we maybe I'm just not maybe they hadn't showcased it yet. He's been there
that's
for a
it.
few weeks, Micah.
2 weeks.
He's had a few promos. He was at the Forbidden Door stuff last year. He was on TV. Still waiting on that greatest wrestler in the world stuff to pop up on my television screen. We sure we got the right guy here?
It's not his fault. It's Tony's. He's not being booked well. If he had came in and beat, I don't know, who's an established
Jeff Hardy.
No, come on. Jeff just came back. If he had came in and beaten, like, I know Jungle Boy's kind of in a feud right now, but somebody of that caliber, then, you know, he might have been taken serious. But he comes in and beats a guy that just got signed to AEW. Nobody really knows. He's never cut a promo. He's got a controversial wrestling style. And we're just expected. And Jay White was uber competitive with him.
He sold for him the whole match.
I know. The dude, no disrespect to Commander. The flips and stuff that he does is cool. It's not my personal favorite style of wrestling, and it doesn't complement Jay White well. And it doesn't make Jay White look good when he can't beat this guy that nobody knows. Jay White should have laid him out flat in 5 minutes, cut a 2-minute promo after about how the Bullet Club is setting changes in AEW. But no, instead, he goes 20 minutes with some glorified job guy who has 0 wins on TV, and here we are. He's not going to be treated as a serious guy. Until 8 months from now when Tony's like, oh yeah, he is new. Okay, we'll put him in the world title picture.
No. You know what's coming. Put him in a feud with Jericho.
Nah, he's not
coming.
white hot enough.
He'll get there, and then Jericho will be there to suck all the momentum out of him. I don't know, man. What did we get on this?
I don't know. We're way off on a tangent, but
Yeah.
that's fine because Raw is not going to be long.
Speaking of Bullet Club, though, Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes face off, and Finn Balor has no charisma, and yeah, that was the end of that segment.
Moving on. Let's hopefully get some charisma on our TV screen. The Usos versus LWO. And overall, a good match. Usos picked up the win, and they hit the 1D on Cruz del Toro, I think.
Yeah.
And they cut a promo after the fact about, you know, how they were dedicating their win this Friday. They're claiming the win already over Sammy and KO. They're going to win their tag team titles back, and they're claiming it for Roman Reigns. And then they walked out. So,
Boy, remember that guy?
Yeah, he hasn't been on here in like a month, or he's not going to be in Puerto Rico. What's the pay-per-view after that? Money in the Bank?
Saudi Arabia.
Oh, well, yeah, he'll be there.
They
That
love him
payoff,
there.
brother. Wish we had a cha-ching soundboard, but we don't.
We got anything close to it?
Let's
We
see.
got anything?
Oh well, no, that's not
Oh,
it.
uh,
No,
okay.
there we go. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, there. All right.
that'll work.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Roman will be back next month when the payoff's good, brother. But
You got to win that
overall,
title.
oh, that would be so. We'll get to it later. That would be hilarious, though, if he did.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Overall, what did you think about the LWO versus the Usos?
I thought LWO's theme was pretty good. I liked it. It's better than their last theme, which I liked that theme as well. Cruz del Toro kind of impressed me a little bit in this match. He had like a Phoenix splash that was picture perfect. Uh, yeah, man, it was a good match, like you said. It's just LWO hasn't gotten any wins, have they?
No, that was my major takeaway from this whole thing. Is the LWO is 1-8 since they formed.
Is that real?
Yes, I saw it somewhere on Twitter.
My God.
I mean, I understand, like, obviously, I don't think they should beat the Usos. But why put them in there in the first place? How am I supposed to take them serious if they never win? It looks like they're investing time and effort and everything into them, but nothing on the screen shows me that. So how am I supposed to take them? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I dropped my phone.
Yeah, man, I get you. You just beat them like a drum straight out the gate. I like that they're booking them in marquee matches with, the Bloodline and the Usos, but boy, if you're not gonna give them the win, don't book the match.
And I can't help but feel like they've got something right now. Especially with this is why there's a big Latino influence over the whole show. Like even Priest and Bad Bunny at the end, the whole Ray and Dominic thing has had elements here and there. So like adding this in there, I feel like they're hitting a giant target audience. Why would you not give these guys some solid wins? Like it could really elevate Santos Escobar to a upper mid card, maybe even main event talent if he can, get some promos under him. And then the other two guys, I could see them being tag team champions if they split those up, if they're built up well. No, instead we're just gonna beat the piss out of them like they just debuted on Dynamite.
I didn't even think about that. You think they're gonna split the titles up? The tag titles?
I wouldn't hate it. Well,
I would.
no, they should
There's
keep them
no
together.
tag.
They don't have
There's,
enough tag teams.
yeah, there's no tag teams available.
That's just bad booking, though. That's why we need the draft. And I think Pretty Deadly is getting pulled up, considering what I saw on NXT last night.
Oh, Michael watching NXT, huh?
No, oh
Okay,
no,
all right.
no. I just saw clips.
Oh man, your guy Sean is booking the show. Oh, come on, man. Sean's doing some good work in NXT.
Yeah, he booked a serial killer angle. Pretty Deadly died on NXT last night like it was Impact.
Well, of course. I mean, if you watch NXT, that's part of the course, man. Man, they had a feud over a bar one time. Like, who
Oh,
would
well,
get the rights to a bar?
that's just the APA.
Come on. No, it wasn't even that cool.
Oh, shoot. Moving on. Well, we'll close that up. Just give the LWO some wins, man. That's all I'm asking.
Not asking too much.
No, it's really not. It's not that hard. Put them over the Viking Raiders or whatever job guys you got.
Oh man, Viking Raiders a job, guys. Now
Oh, well, I mean, you gonna put the tag titles on them?
I would, yeah.
Interesting.
I like the Viking. Valhalla is here. I like the Viking Raiders.
Nah, I just. Well, they're getting beat like a drum too. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Go ahead and let the LWO beat them like a drum.
oh,
Moving
50-50
on.
booking.
Oh well, the shoe's fitting.
Yeah.
If it's good, then Triple H booked it. If it's bad, well, Vince booked it. Also, a little sidebar. We're really bad about him tonight. Vince McMahon, let me speak to you
Oh,
heart to heart. Quit changing the script and taking these women's matches off the TV. I
right.
need to be able to skip some of Raw.
Oh, here I thought you were doing it for the right reasons, but you turn heel.
No!
You turn it heel on the women's division, Mike.
I turn Raw and I'm like, well, normally I can skip like a good hour, hour and a half. Man, I gotta watch every match right now.
Micah hates women. Everybody.
No, wow, come on now. I like good women's wrestling, like Rhea and Charlotte and Bianca. I like Bianca.
You say
Io's
you
okay.
well, hold up now. You say you don't want to see the same 20 guys every week, but then when we show you somebody like Shotzi and Chelsea Green, you want to say, oh, I want to see Rhea and Charlotte every week. You can't have it both ways there, buddy.
I gave praise to Chelsea Green. I like Chelsea. She wrestles strong.
Does she?
In her match with Bianca a couple weeks ago, I thought she did pretty well.
I have no memory of that, but I'll take your word for it.
See? And you're claiming that I hate women. You don't watch the matches either, you sly dog.
Well,
Moving
anyways,
on. Yeah. Sammy and Jay were in the back, and they were all over the show, man. At some point, I was like, good God. Because they already had the match, then they had the post-match angle, then they had this, then they were all the Usos were in the back, then Jimmy and Sammy were talking, and then Sammy and KO and Riddle were talking, and again, please just refresh. We've got some other guys on the roster. I know they're over, but please. It's like I'm being held hostage and they're waterboarding me with
what?
Sammy and Usos content.
Well, hold up now. I'm not gonna let you do that. I personally like the show long storylines, the Bloodline and Sammy and KO. I like it. I think it adds to the show, man. I mean, when you watch the show, you want to see the big stars. Who are the biggest stars on the show? It's the Uso, the Bloodline, KO, Sammy. So you get those segments. So it keeps the audience there, Micah. That's why Raw doesn't lose a lot of viewers every week. I mean, except for the third hour, which is, I mean, that's gonna happen because it's the third hour of wrestling. But I don't know, man. It does a good job of keeping the casual viewers around when you see the big stars like that.
I like it to a point, but not like 8 segments in one. And this was on the hour and a half version of Hulu, and they had like 6 segments.
They were
That's
good.
that's just too much to me. I'm not saying they were bad, but anyways, Jay and Sammy. Sammy was trying to stick up for him, asking him why he even would dedicate his match to Roman Reigns, because what's going to happen when they lose? And Jay was like, "We're not going to lose." And yeah, you got anything for this one? It was pretty short.
Yeah, I like it's just a little thing, man. But they added some extra stakes to that title match on Friday. Just like planting, Sammy planting some seeds of doubt in Jay's head of like, oh, does he really want to win back the titles, or is he just doing it for Roman? You should want to do it for yourself. I like that, man.
I think it adds something else to it. As I wrote later, but I'll go ahead and say it now. I hope that it keeps building to Jay versus Roman, but obviously there's no telling because he still has the titles. I don't know. That's just what I personally would have done, was have Cody beat him at Mania and then have Jay and him at SummerSlam. But we'll see where it goes from here. I don't know. Following that, the greatest women's wrestler of all time, according to her, Trish Stratus, was in the back with a promo. She was talking about Becky and just how she was disrespectful to her, and she was saying that she was hurt and she has to be a mom, but Trish was hurt and had to be a mom. It was still the top women in the company, so she was basically just calling Becky a, whiny child. You got anything to add to this one?
Nah, I wasn't impressed. It was there.
Yeah. Trish's forte was never on the mic. I don't hate it,
Oh,
but
whoa. Yeah, she was. You think it was in the ring?
yeah, I thought her and Lita had good matches.
Bro, you're crazy. Trish, her whole, I mean, she came into the company as a manager, talking
Oh,
and other things.
yeah, there you go.
Okay, but still though, I don't think that in-ring stuff was exactly the strongest thing she had, man. I don't know. She always had that heel gimmick down in the mid 2000s. She kind of reminded me of Alexa Bliss before Alexa Bliss. She just sounded natural on the mic.
I don't know. She'll get her feet up under her, hopefully. I didn't hate it. It's just small background segment. I honestly didn't mind her promo last week. Some people hated it, but especially your closing line, I'm not a nostalgia act. I'm not your childhood fantasy. I'm the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I thought that was pretty solid.
Dang, look at you memorizing promos, huh?
Well, just the good ones.
Did you see that? Did you see that picture of Roman Reigns with the Trish Stratus cut out?
No.
So apparently Roman Reigns has a picture of him in his childhood home of him as like 12, 13 years old, and there's a big life-size cutout of Trish Stratus like right behind him. And then I don't know, I guess somebody tweeted out the picture, and then she replied with even Roman Reigns acknowledges me or something like that.
Hey, even the tribal chief has childhood fantasies. Well, here comes the big moment of the night, and I knew I knew we were going to talk about this one for a while.
Okay.
Triple H comes out there, and let me cut to the chase. He basically says, he kind of buried Roman here. I was kind of surprised. He said that Roman is too powerful and too strong for the WWE, but
He
then
said that?
"Oh, did you not?"
I
don't know if he
skimmed
said
it.
he said that Roman has proven to be an unbeatable force, but then followed it up with the WWE needs a fighting champion and somebody who's going to be here, not a part timer, not a nostalgia act or something like that. He was like, we need somebody who's going to be here fighting week in, week out. So he like kind of put Roman over and then kind of buried him by the end of it, but it was weird. But all in all, the new championship was revealed, a new world title. Wow, my pinky is cramping up. Jesus. Oh my God.
You all right, G?
Well, I'm trying to I don't know. I held my hand out straight and then it just, I don't know. Anyways,
Is that your scissoring hand?
yeah, well, it might be. Might have scissored too hard. Now you done you done make me lose my train of thought. The championship, World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H announced the new world title and said that this was kind of confusing. He said that Roman was still going to be the WWE undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but there's going to be a new world title.
How is he going to be undisputed if there's another world championship?
I don't know. Is he going to still have both titles?
I guess you have to, right?
I mean, I don't think they could take it away from him. I
Yeah.
told my wife that I think he's gonna hold it until he loses them, and then it'll just be the WWE Championship.
But the 1,000-day reign is with the Universal title.
I think. Well,
Are they just going to merge the lineage together like they did
I
with the
think
world
they
title?
might. I don't know. We'll have to see what
Very confusing.
retconning they do.
Very confusing.
But all in all, a new world title, and he said that they would have a tournament after the draft for it. So I know you got a lot of thoughts here. I think I'll let you open up. You got more disdain for this than I do.
Bro, I like the design of the title, the old school world title with a little modern feel to it with the big WWE logo, which I never really had a problem with. I know other people can't stand the big WWE logo, but bro, it's branding. I mean, what are you gonna do? Who cares? But Micah, a third world championship? What are we doing here? 3 world champions?
Well, it's not 3 world champions. You got Roman
2?
2,
It's 2. He is the Universal Champion, the WWE Champion.
but he's just one man.
Well, he has 2 titles.
But I think they're gonna cross the lineages or whatever.
Well, we don't know that yet. But it just feels like a consolation title, man. Just like what'd you say earlier? Here, dang title. It
Yeah.
just I probably did that. I probably butchered your joke there, but I don't know, man. It's just Roman Reigns is too powerful and OP. So here's another title. Can you imagine if Dana White came out and just announced that there will be a second light heavyweight championship title because John Jones is the GOAT? Can you imagine that, Micah? How would you feel about that?
I mean, I just think it's different though because it's
Yeah.
like 2 different shows, and I don't know where they're going with this Roman thing. If you believe him after WrestleMania, he said they're in the 3rd inning, so I don't
Oh
know. At
God.
this point, maybe
Oh
he's
my God.
beating Bruno. That's what he
I
said.
mean, no, there ain't no. Yeah, he's probably working. Yeah, there ain't no way.
He said that I don't know. This has a plan, and I think we're in the 3rd inning. So I don't know. I don't want. I don't want to know. I maybe this is a 6 inning game or like a 5 inning game. There's
Yeah, hopefully there's
because
rain
at that
delay.
rate, rain delay. At that rate, he's gonna beat Bruno, and I think that's the last thing we all want. So
Bro, we'll be in our 30s if he can beat Bruno's reign. There ain't no way.
you'll be in your 30s. I won't.
Well, he'll be close to it there, buddy. Not exactly a spring chicken yourself anymore.
Well, I'm more spring than you.
Oh God. Okay, look, man. My point is, I don't like the idea of there being a second world champion under the same company. That makes no sense. It should be one undisputed champion, and everyone should want to come for that belt, man. It just waters it down when there's 2 world champions.
But but Roman has a chokehold on that thing right now, and I don't
Okay,
think.
not everybody needs to be world champion though.
Yeah, but it stagnates everything. Like
That's why
there's
you have
these
that's why you have secondary titles.
Yeah, but there's these upper echelon of people, and they don't have anybody else to challenge for Roman. It makes the shows dull. Like we've said, Roman's been gone for 20 something days. So it's like, oh, okay. The United States Championship still doesn't mean anything to me. Theory's not involved in anything. Cena cut his nuts off, and then he tried to wrestle him to get him back, but he still hadn't found him. Gunther's doing great work, but like, how much longer can that keep up? And then who's he going to drop it to? Is it going to be anybody worthwhile, or is it going to be Ricochet?
Come on now. He took the title from Ricochet. I doubt he's gonna drop it to him, but uh, man, I just feel like we're going down the same road they went down with the old world heavyweight champion, where Alberto Del Rio is kicking off Monday Night Raw in a world title match. And it's just, do you really want to see that again? Do you really want to see Jack Swagger like championship reigns? That's what you're going to get when you got 2 world titles.
No, well, they just had 2 world titles, and look at the past WWE champions. They had Brock, they had Big E, they had Bobby.
Okay, whoa. Pause. Come on now. I like Big E, but did they ever really treat him like a world champion?
No, but again, that's the booking's fault. That's not the fact that the belt is wrong. The belt's not the issue. The issue is how they book the belt.
Well, have they shown you any evidence over the last 20 years that they can book a 2 world championship company? Have they proved that to you, Micah?
Vince, no. Triple H, I'll give him a shot.
Oh, God. How many times do we have to do this? How many times have they created a secondary world champion?
Every time that they unify the belts, and it's always a stupid decision when they unify the belts, because then that's the issue. I know you like the unified belts, and if they're going to stick to that, then okay, but they always do this where they get a unified championship, and then they have some just, star, I guess, or whatever you want to call them, just unbeatable force, and then they're like, well, crap. We got to have another championship. And that's why they made the Universal Championship a couple years ago. And now look, they got in the same pickle.
So would you be excited if AEW rolled out a new world champion for their Saturday show?
They probably are going to have to if...
Oh, God. That's just so stupid to me, man. How can you be the world champion, but you're not the company's champion? How does that work?
The UFC has multiple champions, all in different weight classes.
That's different. It's a weight class.
Yeah, but I look at it in the same way. If you have a hard brand split, which is what they should do, in my opinion.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
But no crossover at all.
They can't do that. They never do that.
Well,
they'll do it for like a year, but then it'll be back to where it started.
Okay, I'm fine with them doing it for the year. Right after WrestleMania, okay, have a little bleed over, and then do the draft, another hard brand split. But if you have 2 different brands, then it's like 2 different shows. It's like 2 different weight classes. You're both the champion of the world. You're just the world champion of that show.
Well, if you think they have the same 8 people on every show, it's going to get even worse when they have to limit the roster. When they can only go to 1 show, man, you're definitely going to see the same people over and over again.
No, they have the roster for it. They just don't use half their people.
I don't know, man. They haven't proven to me that they can do. You remember when they had brand specific pay-per-views? Remember how much those sucked?
They're doing that again.
When you had Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree versus the Dudley Boys on pay-per-view, that sucked, man. I don't like that, man. I feel like when they have brand exclusive titles like that, it just everybody doesn't need to be champion. Everybody doesn't need to be world champion. Some guys are just meant to be, a Jake the Snake Roberts, and some guys are meant to be Hulk Hogan. I mean, it's no slight to Jake Roberts. He couldn't be world champion when Hulk Hogan was in the company, man. I don't know.
Well, I agree with you that not everybody needs to be a world champion. And that's why, for my pick to win this title, it should be LA Knight.
Interesting. Even after losing to Xavier Woods on SmackDown, you think he's in line for the world title?
He's over, and he could win the tournament. I don't know. I think it will be the launch to main event status that he needs, because at this rate, he ain't going to get it anywhere else. Because, okay, what else is he going to... I mean, well, then you'd have a whole crap ton of heel champions. I was going to say, unless you turn him babyface, which I wouldn't necessarily hate either, Gunther's heel.
Yeah, there's a lot of heel champions on this show.
Yeah. Theory's heel. Roman's heel. Can't go for any of those, so what's he supposed to do?
Who's the SmackDown champion? Oh, it's Rhea. Yeah. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's a lot of heels, isn't it?
Bianca and the Usos are the only not the Usos. Sammy and KO are the only babyface champions. Let me ask you one question and then we'll move on from the world title stuff unless you have anything else you want to say.
Go ahead.
Do you think Cody should win it or should he stay on the course of Roman Reigns?
He kind of has to stay on Roman Reigns' heel, man. The story's been set up, and I don't think he should go anywhere near this new world champion. I think it should be somebody like a Seth Rollins or,
Oh, God.
bro, you hate Seth, but he is over with this audience.
We'll get there.
Thought you were setting me up for like the sound effect there. Huh? Okay,
Oh, you ready for it?
go. Hey, all right.
Moving
Yeah.
on. Raw rolls. Well, no, finish what you're about to say. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, man, somebody like a Seth Rollins, or it needs to be a babyface to hold this world title.
I agree. It probably should be a babyface, but I don't know. My fandom wants LA Knight to win it. The Usos were backstage, and I mean, we kind of already touched on this. I'll see if you have anything else you want to add. Just kind of the same stuff I wrote down from earlier. Just I like the building that they've added to give this match a little stake on Friday, other than just the tag titles. But also, they were on the show a crazy amount. So, do you have anything else to add?
Nah.
Okay. So, the Battle of the Bullet Club. Finn Balor versus Cody Rhodes. I thought it was a pretty good match. This is my scoop. Solid match as usual with Cody. He did a really good job to me selling for the majority of the match. He came out with tape on his ribs, obviously selling the injury from Brock that we saw earlier in the show. Good crossover if anybody was tuning in for the first time. And he just, I don't know, a good babyface needs to be able to fight from underneath most of the match. That's what he did here. They cut to commercial and he was down. They came back from commercial and he was fighting his way up. Finn chopped him back down. He eventually struggled, but got the crossroads, got the win, and overall, pretty solid Raw match. Nothing crazy,
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of Finn, man, so I didn't really pay that much attention.
He takes me out of it. That was my 2 slams. I was going to see if you had anything you wanted to add.
Not at all.
Finn had a little sidebar here where he looked at the world title. He better divert them eyes somewhere else, because no. He's like 2-8 in the past month, but let alone that, he just sucks. He can't go to promo. He feels out of place in the Judgment Day, and I just never have bought into the hype unless he's got the face paint on. But then it's like you take the face paint off and you realize it's that same guy underneath, and you're just, ugh.
Yeah, and you kind of underestimate about how much Triple H loves him some Finn Balor, man. So I wouldn't rule out that he's not one of the guys that Triple H is looking at to hold this title. You remember he held the first Universal title.
Yep. Oh, they make mention of it all the time. And he went to NXT like 4 times.
Yeah. Triple H loves him Finn Balor, man. I don't get it, but they seem to like him. Some
He's got
fans
a
like him.
look.
Some fans like him. The WWE fans, they seem to like babyface smiley Finn, but I don't see it, man.
He's just never hooked me. Again, the face paint's cool, but I mean, it was cool on Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy had a weird charisma about him that Finn doesn't have.
And Jeff is not 5'8", so
Well, that helps.
yeah.
Speaking of guys that should stay far away from the world title, Seth Rollins came out to do his promo. You want me to do it again?
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
You sure?
No, we're gonna move on from that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How many Homo sapiens were in the building for this?
Oh, lots of Homo sapiens. For the scoops, well, let me dissect this a little before we get, too far. Before we blow our load too fast. Basically, he came out to say that he had a prepared statement about his Omos and Seth match, but then they announced his whole world title, and he said that he feels like he's worthy of it, and he's setting his sights towards that. So I guess that's a good pan for after this Omos Seth match. MVP and Omos interrupt. MVP does a good job of acknowledging Seth. He's good at that, like acknowledging the other person's strengths, but then being like, sure, you're good at that, but are you good at beating a 7'4" Nigerian giant? I don't know.
Omos looked really intimidating standing there too.
The way they shoot him, I mean, I know they have to, but the under angle that they always shoot him from makes him look 10 feet tall, and it's great. And it's all sizzle, no steak. So,
And
I mean, that's what you get.
Bro, and he just looks forward. He doesn't look down at Rollins.
No.
Like, he just looks like over the top of him. I don't know. It looked really intimidating just standing there. I know he sucks in the ring, but I don't know, man. They always hook me because I am curious about how they're going to do this match.
You always forget about it. Like, you're like, oh, man, I just, like you said, like with the Brock thing, I was like, man, how are they going to do this? And it's like, oh, okay. And then it happens, and you're like, oh, that sucked. And they give you 3 weeks to forget about it.
But then they brought me back in, man.
I think it's because Seth is good. So you're like, how is Seth going to make this work?
And MVP's there. He's good too.
Yeah, that's true. But Seth did really good towards the end of this, saying...
Surprising.
Yeah. Well, he kind of dropped the laughing and the craziness. He still did the whole choir music thing, but he did a good job here acknowledging that, Omos is a formidable opponent, but he said that he was going to make him famous and he was going to give him the fight of his life. And so, yeah, that was one of my scoops. This is probably the best Seth promo in a really long time to me.
And he did a little rah-rah speech about the new world title too. The fans chanted that he deserved it.
That was one of my slams, but I mean, he deserves it for what? Being rotten for the past year?
Bro, come on now. Stop it. You know he's over with that crowd. Just because you don't enjoy it don't mean that the WWE audience isn't. Because I don't like the current incarnation of Seth either. But to say that he's not the most over guy besides Cody on the show is just being, I mean, are you even watching the show at that point? Because he gets the biggest reactions of the night, Micah.
But is it him or is it the song? That's what you always ask me about Jungle Boy, so...
Well, he was over before the song, so I would have to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know.
Interesting. I don't like Finn. Do you have any other?
I don't like Finn.
Well, my mind is on guys that shouldn't be anywhere near a world title.
You
Sorry,
just hate everybody on this show, Micah.
Man, I'm so ready for the draft, man.
Whatever show gets Bad Bunny, that's the show I'm sticking.
Hey, we'll get there in a little bit. Do you have anything else that you wanted to get to on the Seth stuff?
Yeah, I only had one scoop for the segment. Well, yeah, I have one scoop. Yeah, I think I agreed with you about Seth. This was the best Seth promo in a while. But they did explain the Omos and Seth matchup, which you were complaining about when they announced this match. And now they have put it all together. and it makes logical sense of why this match is happening. Huh? You ready to eat those words you were talking about last week when they announced this match, Micah?
I didn't hear the
What?
explanation,
What?
so
Oh, come on, man. MVP came to the ring and said that he went to Adam Pearce and wanted to make a big splash for his client, Omos, and that was to beat Seth Rollins. So he demanded the match, and then they made the match for Backlash. What are you doing, Michael? You got to watch this product, man.
I was watching the product. Maybe I dozed off for a minute.
Oh, God. Well, anyway, man, MVP did a good job explaining why the match was announced out of nowhere, which it was. But I had faith that they were gonna, plug some of those logic holes they had when they announced it on Friday.
Well, I don't really have anything. I don't have a rebuttal.
Okay, all right.
If it was AEW, you would have been all over it. But if it was, but because it's WWE, you're like, oh well, see, they came back and explained it, so now it all makes sense.
Are you questioning my integrity, Mike?
Perhaps.
Wow. I am nothing but unbiased. No, unbiased towards the sloppy mud show across the street. And, when stuff happens that doesn't make logical sense, I point it out, yes, but I do the same for WWE. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna pull. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, KO and Sammy were backstage.
What were they doing?
They were arguing. KO was mad that Sammy was talking to the Usos, and Sammy was, trying to be the savior, and KO's trying to be the protector of his own and the championships, and that, that was kind of the gist of it. Riddle came in here a little bit, and Riddle came, I went, but one of my scoops, I like the savior Sammy versus the protector KO dichotomy. Look that one up, kids.
Okay then. Yeah, I liked it too, man. And I only had one scoop for this segment. I liked how they used Riddle here. He seemed to drop the goofy stuff, man. He's not making as much corny jokes like he used to. He seems like he's a different guy all of a sudden. I know you still hate his voice, but he can't really change his voice. But he's not making those stupid, 420 weed jokes anymore.
I wish, for moments like this, I wish that we had cameras.
Yeah.
Because if I could write, or if I could show the screen what I wrote for this.
Oh, man.
And you blistered me about it before we even got on the air. I just wrote Riddle in the slam section.
One slam for the segment, just Riddle.
I can't, man.
His presence just deserves a slam every time he's on screen, huh, Micah?
Yeah, he exists, and for that, he should be punished.
Oh,
Say that again, it cut out a little bit.
I like Riddle, man.
I can't. I can't buy into him. I don't like his voice. I don't like the gimmick. His gear sucks. I don't like flat bill hats. I know that's so particular, but I hate flat bill hats.
You said, man, you're like you never rocked one in middle school?
No, I did, but that's why I don't like them anymore. They're extremely 2006. And
yeah.
Like even Sky Blue wears one, or like Tony Storm did in WWE, and I just every time I see one.
Oh, hold up now. What about Jeff Hardy dressing like his 1999 steel? You never say anything about that.
Okay, Jeff Hardy pulls it off though.
Oh God, he can pull it off, but Riddle can't, huh?
No.
You want to question my integrity? What about yours, there, buddy?
Okay, question it.
I just did. I mean, Jeff Hardy comes out in those baggy pants that people wore in the late 90s. He has the
The
same,
Jinko jeans.
yeah, whatever you call them. Yeah, he has those on every week. He still has the same get up he had from 2000, man. And that's corny. Nobody dresses like that anymore. Dresses like he's from Hot Topic, man. Like he works there. Who still wears studded belts?
But
None of
that's
that.
why that works for Jeff, though. That's his gimmick. It's been his gimmick for forever, though.
It worked for Riddle. That's been his gimmick since he was in the UFC.
Yeah, but Riddle's not over like Jeff Hardy.
Well, Riddle could beat Jeff Hardy up. How about that? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How about that?
What about Punk?
Beat him up too. Bring
Nah.
him in. We'll just get Mike Jackson to handle him.
Oh, come on now. He was cheating.
The other Jackson boy.
Matt and Nick need to call up their brother. Anyways, yeah, I can't get behind Riddle. And I know you're like, oh well, what about RVD? He's a pothead guy. But RVD looked cool. Okay. RVD looked like he could still beat you up and he was like a martial artist. I know.
Whoa.
Okay. No, hold on. I know Riddle really was a martial artist, but he doesn't come off that way. He doesn't have the airbrushed get up that RVD had. RVD was cool. Riddle's just, I don't know, your average dropout.
Oh, come on. He's over.
Is he though?
People like him. Bro, he was the most over act on the show when Randy was there.
That was a dark period.
Not gonna argue that, but it was over, man. I happen to like Riddle, and I'm gonna give him a chance with this new, not goofy character that he has, which is a big step up from what he was doing 12 months ago, Micah. You gotta at least give him that.
Okay. I can agree with you there. It's a little more serious, but
yeah.
I'm still gonna change the channel. Anyways, our main event for Monday Night Raw. Raw's rolling on, and it's rolled right here to Damian Priest versus Rey Mysterio. Good match.
Quick.
I don't know that yeah, especially with the commercial break in the middle. I don't know that I enjoyed it as much as Finn and Cody. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know what will be my match of the night. I think this one might pull it out just because of the ending.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was about to say the aftermath.
Yeah, that really tied everything together. But the match ended in DQ because Damian, which was something I wrote down, chair shot Rey to the head. He didn't slam it, but he threw it right at his head as Rey was on the top rope. But overall, solid match. Obviously, they're building to this Bad Bunny, Damian Priest thing, and the whole Rey Dominic Judgment Day fiasco is still going. One of my scoops, as is every week, I didn't get to see my man Montez on the show, so I couldn't say Montez is a star. So I got to go with my other cliche scoop. Rey is still amazing at his age. I always look for him to slip up, and he never does.
Well, Montez was on the show. We just you didn't catch it because you had the Hulu version.
Oh well, my bad.
He was
Sorry, Montez. And the only other thing I had for this one, I think Priest to me has taken a step up in the past couple weeks. I don't know if something's changed with his look, or I don't know if he got a haircut or
he ain't got the braids no more.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say maybe he went to a different barber like Roman, and it just changed everything for him.
Hey man, if you look at the TV real fast and like close one eye, it kind of does favor him a little bit.
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I think Priest should be this. Oh, especially with the whole Judgment Day thing going on, I could see him being like an Undertaker almost. The size, like just the tattoos and stuff like that. I think he could be like this Undertaker cult leader, dark figure for a long time, like Taker was, if they would just invest in him.
He's got that real intimidating voice too.
Yeah, and it's kind of soothing at the same time.
Yeah.
I think he could be in the world title picture. I think he should at least hold it. Maybe not be the first guy to get it, but if they built the Judgment Day up and swap Finn out for somebody,
Or
I
just
don't
drop them
know.
all together.
Hey, well, works for me. Hire and freeze, more like a fire and freeze. Let's get these guys
Yeah.
packing.
I would hope that's coming after the draft.
Yeah, they need to clean the house.
Well,
And then bring up some of them NXT guys.
We got rid of Roger Strong, seems like.
Oh, well. So, spoiler for this week's Dynamite, but we'll get there when we get there. I still ain't seen it. Overall, though, a good match. Did you have any scoops or slams?
For the match, no, it was kind of short, man, because I zipped through the entrances. And when I got done with the entrances, it was only like 7 minutes of match time left. Jeez,
Yeah.
what did he didn't really do much. Ray did his usual stuff. Wasn't bad, just wasn't particularly great or good. I think the story of the match is the aftermath with Bad Bunny coming out. Bro, does Bad Bunny need a new driver? How does he get to the show 2.5 hours late?
I'd be pissed. I wouldn't even show up.
Yeah. And they had a camera on the back of the building to catch when he was gonna arrive too. What was he doing?
Yeah, that one always gets me, but I'd like to think that maybe they just keep it back there to see if anybody's going to show up, or that's what I tell myself to suspend my disbelief.
Well, regardless, man, he got a monster reaction when his music hit too.
Yeah, you know, I think I downplayed you one time when you said that he was the biggest artist in the world, because I was like, what? I've hardly even heard of the dude, but I mean, he's got the stats to back it up.
Yeah, man, the most streamed artist on Spotify for like the last 3 years in a row. It's crazy numbers.
That's insane.
You got to think most of the world speaks Spanish, or is it top two? It's Spanish and I don't know, maybe Mandarin or something. I don't know, man. But Bad Bunny has a lot of fans, and it's still so crazy that this is the biggest recording artist in the world, and he's having a match, a street fight on pay-per-view. Like it's nothing. Like this isn't some washed up celebrity that hasn't done anything in 15 years. This is the biggest recording artist in the world.
And it's not even just like a regular match. Like I know he had a tag team match and everything to begin with, but nah, this is a street fight. And he might get a couple of receipts because this is one of my scoops. He was swinging the piss out of them kendo sticks, which I mean, good. I'd rather him do that than pull them, but boy, I wouldn't have wanted to be Damian Priest.
Yeah, he's gonna have some marks on him. He got lit up, man.
My favorite was the one when Priest was on the announce table and he hit him in the back of the leg to like sweep his legs out from under him. And I don't know, it kind of looked legit. Like he really did sweep his legs out from under him.
Yeah, he wasn't holding back. Can you imagine what they're gonna do in a street fight in Puerto Rico?
They might riot if Bad Bunny don't win.
I'm expecting something crazy, man, because you know Bad Bunny is a big fan. I'm expecting like a flaming table or something, man. I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Some barbed wire might get used.
Oh well, I don't know about all that.
You don't think they'll use that?
Probably not.
I don't know, man. They've used thumbtacks in the last couple of years.
Really? With who?
Jericho and Dean Ambrose. They had a asylum match, which is basically a cage match with weapons all around the cage. And I forget how it got into the cage, but they used thumbtacks towards the end of the match. And they've also used the flaming table. What was that? 2014 with Kane and Daniel Bryan. So I wouldn't rule it out, man. I don't know.
Of course, it would be Moxley who had thumbtacks last, and Jericho too. Of all the people that it could have been, of course, it's those two.
It was shocking when you seen it in the PG environment, though.
I imagine. Hey, I would have popped for it.
I did. I was there.
Overall, though, what do you have for Raw's rating and a match of the night?
Oh man, it. I don't know, 4.5, maybe 5. It was just middle of the road, man, and nothing really. It seems like they're in a holding pattern. Like I thought the same thing watching SmackDown. It just seems like they're just stagnant until the draft. So yeah, I'm not gonna go too crazy on the rating this week. 5.2. I go with Balor and Cody for the match of the night, but it really wasn't that great either.
Yeah, I'll go 4.8, and I'm gonna say Priest and Ray. I don't know, it just shocked me. I wasn't expecting much, and then I liked it. Plus the aftermath was all good to me. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. It just feels like they're wasting time in order to get to the draft, and just they need a refresh really bad.
And we didn't cover it, but Bianca had another match with Bailey.
Really?
And, yeah, they had a 6-man tag with Bianca, Raquel, Liv versus Damage Control. And guess who lost, Micah? Bailey took another L, man, of course.
Cinder packing.
Hey, I wouldn't hate it.
Nah, I actually like Bailey, but they need to, how can we miss you if you won't go away? Damage control's done for, partner.
Oh, speaking of done for, seems like the Miami Heat, the 8th seed in the East, have beaten the Milwaukee Bucks, the number 1 seed in the East, in the first round.
Holy crap.
Wow.
How many did Jimmy have?
42 points. Jesus. He was cooking.
He had 56 last game.
Bro was not taking any prisoners in this game.
Who do they have in the second round?
They got the Knicks. That's one of the biggest upsets of probably the last 15 years, though, Michael. They were the number.
Bucks won it a couple of years ago, didn't they? Like
they had the best record in the league this year, and they lost in the first round to the 8th seed.
Holy crap.
Jeez Louise.
Well, hopefully our Lakers will close it out this week, and we'll see the Kings in the playoffs. Kings or Warriors?
Yeah, the Warriors just beat the Kings.
3-2?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather see the Kings than the Warriors, to be honest with you.
Me too. But playoffs roll on, huh?
Yeah. And this show's rolling on, or it's rolled to the end. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Scoop Slam podcast. We've changed a couple things. I'm sure the audio is going to sound a little better and hopefully a little clearer. We got this all in one take, so that's always nice. Make sure to check us out. Oh, what were you about to say?
I was saying that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Can't remember a time we've done that.
Oh, I don't think we have, because Podcastle would have closed on us, and I will drag them through the dirt.
Just bury our platform right there. Come on, man.
Not our platform anymore. Anyways, make sure to follow us on our social media at Scoop Slam Pod on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Facebook at The Scoop Slam Pod. And make sure to check us out later this week. We'll hopefully, fingers crossed, actually do our Dynamite and SmackDown review episode this week. Should be out Sunday or Monday or whenever we get to it. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Scoop Slam podcast and hope you have a great rest of your day.